Hello everybody. Today it will be our 37th lecture series on the same topic that I was continuing from the 35th lecture series. That is the part 3 part 2 I have ended. It will be the part 3. And very important to also understand that in between I have given a 36th lecture series regarding a special session on the International Women's Day. So I'll continue with the same Employees Provident Fund in our 37th lecture series. I will start. I have ended with UAN, that is the Universal Account Number, and how you can get it through the UN account number. I forgot to mention you one thing, that in the case of UAN, what happens is this: you have to have an Aadhaar card, as well as you need to have the mobile phone, and that mobile phone should be linked with the Aadhaar card. And for that you can open a UN account, because your UN account, universal account number, which is a 12-digit number, it will be linked with the Aadhaar number, and the Aadhaar number is also linked with your existing mobile number, because all the SMSs, all the information will come to that particular mobile number, and that mobile number has to be registered with the Aadhaar, and that mobile number has to also to be registered with the EPFO, that is Employees Provident Fund Organization, for the generation of the UN number. So all the information will go to you in the form of SMSs, OTP. We all know what is the one-time password. But the most important thing over here is to understand the concept of employee pension scheme and employee death relief fund. Why it is very important? These two schemes are attached with the Employees Provident Fund. For example, there are three schemes I've already told you. One is Employees Provident Fund scheme. This is the pension scheme that I'm going to talk about, and another scheme is a death relief fund. So any employee who is joining the organization is liable to get at the time of his retirement or superannuation the Employees Provident Fund. Now, for example, if anyone for any unforeseen event passes away or expired during his service, in continuance of his service, then what happened? Then in that case, the pension scheme will immediately start to his nominee or the legal heir, and he'll also get a coverage of a death relief fund, which is called deposit linked insurance scheme. Now, the employees pension scheme has been controlled by EPFO since 1995, employee pension scheme. Now, the main advantage of this scheme is to provide social security to its existing PF members, Provident Fund members. And under these schemes, employees working in the organized sector gain the pension benefit after reaching the age of 58. Means after 58, your Provident Fund contribution will stop, and from 58, your pension starts till the age you are the individual, the PF, the member doesn't expire. It applies to the new as well as the existing members. Means if the scheme is, if there are any members who have joined prior 1995, it will also be applicable for them also, for new and existing members. Now the scheme has been framed by the central government, is in accordance with the powers which are conferred under the section 6A of the Employees Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act 1952, I have told you. And the EPS 95 came into force on 19/11/1995. And these dates are very important for those who are appearing for competitive examinations, because they might ask you that any competitive exam, that when the EPS scheme was started. And the review and the revision of the schemes is always an ongoing process. The provisions of EPS 1995 or EPS 95 are reviewed from time to time based on the recommendations of the expert committee and high empowered monitoring committee, as well as taking into account the actual evaluation of the employees pension fund. Some of the important amendments in the EPS 1995 is that there is an increase of wage ceiling from 6,500 to 15,000 per month from 1st of September 2014. The provision of pension, minimum pension, is rupees 1,000 per month to pensioners under the EPS 1995 from 1/9/2014 in 1st of September 2014, by providing an additional budgetary support wherever the pension was falling short of rupees 1,000 as per predetermined formula for calculation of the pension. And what is this predetermined formula? It is based on the actual valuation, means how much year you are going to live and what kind of wealth has been generated, what kind of wealth has been accumulated in your PF account. Now, restoration of the normal pension After the completion of 15 years from the date of such computation in respect of those members who has availed the benefit of computation of pension erstwhile in the paragraph 12A of EPS. The Employees Provident Fund organization has also increased the ex gratia amount under the death relief fund for the central board for the central board employees. From April 1, the amount will rise from 8.8 lakh to 15 lakh, and the money will be given to the nominee of the legal heirs of the employee who passes away while in service, and it will be paid from the staff welfare fund. Now, in EPF wage component, how the EPF calculation is actually been done. The Provident Fund is actually being calculated at the rate of 12% on the basic allowance plus the allowances which are received by all the employees across the board. The cap on the calculation of the basic allowance is rupees 15,000. Further, basic plus the allowances received by all the employees across the board should be considered for the calculation of EPF wages, not the gross wages for the calculation of EPF dues. It is only the basic allowance, not the gross wages. Means only the first part, which is to be considered the basic pay or the basic allowance, is to be taken into consideration. All other allowances, apart from basic allowances, are not taken into consideration while calculating the EPF amount. Principle laid down for the allowances to be excluded allowances which are variable in nature. Number one. Number two is that allowances which are not linked to any production resulting in greater output by the employee, and allowances which are not paid across the board to all employees in a particular category. Allowances which are paid especially to all those who have availed the opportunity. What is the percentage breakdown? Now, EPFO due has a two contribution. Means the employer will collect the employee's contribution from the employee, and employer will remit that particular amount to the EPFO, that is Employees Provident Fund organization. So one of the Employees Provident Fund contribution which is deducted from the employee's salary of the wages, employee's contribution. Another is the employer's contribution I have mentioned, which is to be paid by the employee every month. Now the employer's contribution is also 12% of the basic as per the section 2B of the Act, and employer's share contribution is also 12% of the basic wage as per also the 2B of the Act. Now this is made up to 8.33% transfer of the EPS, Employee Pension Scheme, and 3.67% will go to the Employee Provident Fund. Additionally, the employer has to bear 0.50 administrative charge on the EPF and 0.50 as EDLI, Employee Deposit Linked Insurance charges. So the employer has to pay a total of 13% of the basic wage of the employee. So the total contribution, including the administrative charge and the deposit linked insurance contribution charge. Now there are some landmark judgments which has been given by various courts. For example, the Regional Provident Fund Commissioner of West Bengal versus Vivekananda Vidyamandir and others. It is a very landmark judgment where the Supreme Court of India has mentioned case that any of the allowances universally, necessarily and ordinarily paid to all across the board. Such emoluments are basic wages, and employers should consider the same while deducting and remitting the EPF dues. Hence, any allowances which is paid to every employee category will be covered under purview of the EPF. The Central Provident Fund Commissioner shall pass an immediate practice direction in respect of uploading all the orders of the Regional Provident Fund Commissioner. Now, if you want to understand that what will be the interest rate on the Public Provident Fund actually keeps on varying, and there are many issues with why the interest rate keeps on varying, because the interest rates are actually being declared by the Ministry of Finance in consultation with the Ministry of Labour, because this EPFO actually falls under this category. And which is a website you need to visit. For example, there is a website by the Government of India called Umang, umang.gov.in. If you log in this website, it will also show you the EPFO and what are the benefits and the schemes which are available to the employees as such. So registration of the PF account is required for the salaried employees who are earning 15,000 per month, inclusive of the basic wage and DNS allowance. If the company employs more than 20 people, then it is required by the law mandatorily to go for the EPF plan. A business with less than 20 employees may join on a voluntary basis, And employees earning more than 15,000 can also open an EPF account, but they must first receive permission from the employer. Now, General Provident Fund actually maintain and this EPF is not actually applicable to those employees who are an employee of the government bodies, including local authority, railway, and such other bodies. And I've already mentioned you about the UN number. So the total contribution is something like 25%. The point to be considered that how to check your EPF balance. You go to the EPFO website, you visit you enter your UN number, universal account number, and the password, and you view and download your EPF account statement. It is also available in the Umang, and it also and the balances, the cumulative balance information also received by the employee through his SMS. PF balance can also be sent by SMS. And the withdrawal claim procedure and transfer the EPF account can also be done through UN by putting in the UN with a digital signature and with the Aadhaar card and the personal details. So I end by saying today it will be the final deliberation of the EPF. I have given a little bit of overview of the EPF. You go into the website of the EPFO, you will be able to understand there are many documents of the EPFO. And regarding the interest rate, regarding the contribution, how are the employer going to administer these EPO functions in their organizations, it is very important, because all the business as well as all the offices should know that how to operate with the EPO. So I thank each one of you for joining this session. Thank you very much.